This is Resurface, where we retell the shocking medical emergencies that happened to our family. Not one, not two, not three, but four in less than 5 years. This is a story of the chaos, catastrophe, and pain we never saw coming, of waves pulling us under, of deep troughs and high crests. This is the story of resurfacing. So this is our first episode. We are going to just briefly discuss what has kind of transpired, and after this, we'll get into some of the nitty-gritty details on other episodes. But my name is Rachel. We've been married for
15 years.
15 years. We have 3 kids. We have a 15-year-old daughter, an 11-year-old son. I don't recommend that combination. And now 5-year-old little miracle baby. So why are we making the podcast?
Well, for a multitude of reasons.
We're doing this podcast because we want to tell the story. It's a story that can be seen as a gift if we look at it like that, if we choose to look at it like that. We also think that it would really help other people. We think that there's probably a lot of people that have gone through, are going through medical crises or other crises in general. And we think it would be selfish not to tell this story because of how much help it could bring to other people. And then, beyond that, we'll do it just for enjoyment, and we'll get into some other stuff. Maybe one day interviews. Who knows where this podcast will go? But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. And then at the end of the day, we would love to find community. We'd love to find people that have been through similar things. You guys should reach out to us on socials if you have. We'll include all that information down below. So first, I guess we'll just list them.
Yep.
Or you want to shake a bucket and pull out a piece of paper and choose?
I don't think it really matters. I would say probably start from the top, though.
So the first big one was in 2020, and it was when Mila was born. Regular routine induction. Clinically dead for 25 minutes. The next one, you're up.
Yeah, the next one's my stroke. Healthy 37-year-old. Nothing wrong with me that I could tell. Ended up having a stroke.
And that was 4 years, a little bit less than 4 years after our daughter was born. And then 30 days after that, I had suffered a spinal leak. 3 trips to the emergency room, 1 in an ambulance. Debilitated for 4 months. And the last one and the most recent one was 7 months ago now, when our miracle baby, the one that was resuscitated, went into an unexpected seizure that lasted a very long time. So I think the point for me is we're not here just to dump our trauma. I don't want to just traumatize people or trigger people or just unload all of this horrible stuff that's happened to us necessarily. I want to, focus on some of the details because I think there's going to be people that are going to be watching it that want to know those details. I'm a nosy person, so when I'm reading or hearing stories, I always want to know what happened behind it, the reason for it. So there will be people that want to know that, but there's other people that are going to want to know how did we survive? How did we come out of it? Did we come out of it? I know when we were naming this podcast, we tossed around the idea of doing Resurfaced, past tense, or resurface. And you said something that I thought was interesting. You said, I don't know about resurfaced. Have we resurfaced?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have.
No, I don't think so yet.
I kind of feel like we're reaching our hand up above the surface of the water. But no, we haven't, not yet. But we will, we are. And we did from each event. Just now, cumulatively as a whole, we're feeling the impact. And we'll also get into a little bit of the situation that happened with the job that I had at the time during your stroke and my spinal leak and Mila's seizure, and how that affected things and, what happened there. So if you've ever been through workplace trauma, this podcast will be for you too. I guess we'll just get into it. Before all of this happened, before Mila was born, we were living in Alabama at the time. Big house, lots of grass, big pool, kind of living the dream, right? I didn't think it was our forever house. Did you?
No, I didn't think so. I mean, it was a nice one to have. Definitely one that I could have seen us in long term. But was it a forever house that I wanted? No, it was in a suburb. So, I mean, it was fine. I'm not
It wasn't
complaining
100
about it.
acres, is what he's saying.
Yeah, my goal is always a bunch of acres.
Mm-hmm.
As many as I can get. I'm perfectly fine being in the middle of 500 acres away from people. I have no problem with that.
So let's tell the story of how we ended up with a third kid, because we had one pretty young. I was like, oh, I'm done. No more babies. That was so silly. About, I don't know, she was like, what, 2?
Mm-hmm.
Baby fever hit, and I was like, oh, I do want another kid. And so then, we had another, and at that point I was like, well, I don't trust myself anymore. Who knows? I might want another one day, or whatever. And so pretty quickly after Aiden was born, I knew I wanted another kid, but you weren't so much on board. And so there was this is so ridiculous, y'all, but there was a specific truck Steven wanted. And it just so happened that I was browsing, probably conspiring in my mind. I don't remember the exact details, or maybe I wanted the truck too. I don't know. But I came across this exact truck with the specific package that you wanted, and I showed it to you, and we struck a bargain. We struck a bargain for a baby and a truck. So Steven got his Ford Raptor, and and I got to have a third baby. But I mean, we had a third baby, but you know what I mean? Like, and then I threw in something else. You want to tell him, or you want me to tell him?
You can tell him, because I still don't like it, but that's okay.
So Ariana had suggested, she's our oldest daughter, hey, why don't you also ask Dad if we can get a hamster? I had hamsters growing up, cute little teddy bear hamsters. I was obsessed with them. I still love them. I was like, oh, that is such a good idea. You wanted that truck really bad. And so I think I throw that on you when we were like on our way to the dealership? I'm pretty sure I did.
You did it, I think, after we got the thing.
And then, no, I wouldn't have. That wouldn't have been strategically smart.
I don't know.
I know that I found where the hamster was on the way home.
Yeah, because we were going to go visit our friends back where we lived at the time. I think we were going to get dinner with them or something. Or
I don't remember that part.
They lived very close
Zach and
to
Kristen?
us. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they lived very close to us in the neighborhood. So it was
no, they didn't. We lived in Jasper when we got that truck, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But we came back, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe we were passing through or something. Who knows? So besides the strong desire for a truck, I mean, do you feel like we faced any challenges back then? Real challenges?
Not to the extent now. I mean, now I feel like I know what a challenge is, and that's not something I feel like that we
had never really been through it.
Yeah.
We'd really never been through like a trauma. Trauma, the word is tossed around a lot. You guys will see that we're not tossing the word around. And we went through 4, but we had never been through one before. Not really.
I think the only thing that was big enough at the time really to warrant that was probably when you lost your job that one time. Remember, and we had to
but even that doesn't even
right.
come close.
Well, considering what we consider,
it was a layoff,
now.
And it was just a lot of people deal with those all the time.
Yeah. But at the time, it was like we had the 2 incomes, and then it was now down to 1, which I know a lot of people live like that, but it's definitely was something.
Well, we're there now.
Yep.
So I guess we'll just get into it. So one by one, everything fell apart after that. November 9th, 2020, I went in for a routine induction, 39 weeks, and our daughter Mila was born that day and required 25 minutes, actually a total of 30 minutes of CPR, 25 to get her pulse.
Yep. Well, I remember walking in and they were doing CPR, on the baby. And so
the main thing I remember was looking up at the camera where you're supposed to be able to look at your baby when they're born, when it's happy and you can see the baby. And I just saw her lifeless body, and somebody must have seen that I was looking at the camera because they turned it off. So next up.
Yeah. Next up, my stroke.
Less than 4 years later.
Yeah. Less than 4 years later. And, here I am. Well, 37 years old, essentially, best shape of my life, I feel like, since college. And then, boom, I was playing basketball one night, and then stroke hit.
Yeah. So. That was a little over a year ago from the day that we're filming this now. We hit a year, I don't know, eight weeks ago or something like that. 30 days after that, I went in for an epidural pain block and ended up in the emergency room 3 times. Had a spinal leak, 2 puncture spots, and we'll get into the medical details of that if any of you want to nerd out on it later in the future episode where we talk about it. But I was sick. I was bedridden for 4 months. I was flat on my back for 4 months. Yeah. And then the last was Mila's seizure, which I'll probably mostly tell the story of that because you were on a work trip. And I'm glad for that. But let's just say it was how many months later? It was 6 months later, and it was 4:45 in the morning, and our oldest daughter woke me to tell me that she was acting weird. I went downstairs, and what I saw still flashes back in my head all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I guess we can get into just a little bit of like the emotional fallout, but I mean, I will be honest because I'm an open book. I don't care. I mean, where I'm at right now is not like the greatest spot. I think because I was forced to work through your stroke, my illness, and then Mila's seizure and hospitalizations and such after that, but especially my illness, yeah, it caused some serious emotional issues that I'm dealing with now, mental health issues. So I'm in therapy and gonna get into some trauma work and start working through some of that stuff. But not the healthiest place I've been mentally, which I kind of struggle with that because like I've always been a really strong person, like almost superhuman strength as far as like emotional. Like you've told me in the past, like jokingly, that I don't have emotions. I mean, I've joked that I don't have emotions. I have a lot of emotions now.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, definitely more than
like I cry more than I ever did before. It broke something inside of me. All of those things combined I guess it's just a little bit hard for me to like admit that it affected me in that way because I guess I always prided myself on my strength, my emotional strength, and maybe that's part of what I'm supposed to learn from this is I don't have the emotional strength I thought I did. Like I can be broken.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm great. I mean, I'm definitely improving, I think, from a lot of the setbacks of the stroke and everything else. Obviously, I wasn't here for the seizure, but I mean, going back just a little bit, after that seizure, it was me trying to recover, and I, then had to step into a primary caregiver role.
Well, you mean after my spinal leak?
Right, yeah, with the spinal leak.
You said seizure.
Oh, okay. Oops. Yep, spinal leak. And then trying to basically be primary caregiver for that while also trying to work.
You did have a really supportive, still do, company.
Yep, I do. Very much
Which
so.
I feel like that made a big difference in your emotional health.
Yeah, it did. But yeah, they are still amazing and always have been with that kind of stuff. But yeah, I feel like for me personally with that, I'm okay. I'm steadily recovering and trying to do better each day.
Yeah.
That's really all I can say about it.
Do you feel like it changed our marriage? Definitely did.
Yeah, I would say so.
And not in like a catastrophic way, but not in a great way either, right? Like it's been hard.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things that you can take for granted if you're not careful.
What? Healthy marriage?
Well, yeah. I mean, think about it. I
wouldn't say we don't have a healthy marriage. We just, I think what you mean is like going through something catastrophic together.
Well, yeah.
That's what you mean.
Yeah, it's just changing the way that you've got to parent, that you've got to be a husband and wife and vice versa, and just how that, looks now.
Well, and parenting a special needs child.
That's what I mean. Like in the past, I mean, it's one of those things you want to take a quick weekend away. It's changed that because it's been difficult to get away and do that kind of stuff. I mean,
it's impossible right now.
We went early this week for coffee and just ride down the road. That's the first time we've been able to do something like that in a long time. Well,
Ariana can babysit for like short periods of time, but there's no weekend away. Just being able to like say, hey, we're going to take an anniversary trip for, a weekend. It's not an option right now because we have a child with special needs, more specifically epilepsy. And we don't have anyone here where we are in North Carolina that we would willingly burden, and I use that word because of the monitoring that is involved, not the child, which we'll get into later, that we would willingly burden with that responsibility until mom and dad get here. So yeah, I mean, it affects your marriage in that way, and struggling with depression and post-traumatic stress and anxiety that comes with everything that happened cumulatively makes it hard. Outlook wise, you feel like it's affected that? I mean, for me specifically, I don't take the future for granted, and I've had to come to a place, and I'm still working on coming to a place where we don't know the future.
Yep. Well,
We don't know if Mila will live with us or she'll live independently. At any moment, she could have a horrible seizure. Technically, I could relapse.
mm-hmm.
Not something we talk about very often. But
Well, I mean, I could have another stroke, so
it's kind of, as far as like outlook, I don't know, like I would have 1,000 babies.
I'm sure you would.
I would.
I would not.
But I would.
Not.
If it weren't for Mila needing our attention right now, I would have 1,000 babies. But I still want a fourth. It made it clear that at least, I still say right now, at least right now, with our life like the way it is, it's not an option. So it forced me to come to terms with the fact that that's, if nothing changes or like we kind of continue on the same trajectory. Why are you looking at me like that?
No, what do you mean?
It's because I said right now, isn't it?
Well, that's part of it, but I have no interest in it.
Yeah, I know. Do you want another truck?
No, Mila or not.
You want another truck?
Not for a kid. I wouldn't. Not at all.
Well, I mean, depends on the truck.
No.
What if I found you like a Roush Ford?
Mm-mm. I have no interest in that.
Bummer.
All of my attention and time is spent.
I'm just kidding.
The kids we've got now, so I don't have.
I'm just kidding. I know. Like I said, I mean, with Mila having special needs and epilepsy and all that kind of stuff, we're tapped out parenting wise, and so it would be a disservice to the children that we have to have another one right now. Again, maybe one day I'll stop saying right now. I'm going to be like 56 and all shriveled up, and I'm still going to be saying right now.
Well,
I just love the newborn period and like all of that comes with it. It's just my favorite.
yeah, but you forget what they turn into.
I know, brats.
That's the problem.
But that's why you just keep having more.
No.
Yeah, because then you can just live that newborn period all over again.
Mm-mm.
They turn into a brat, have another one. So let's just stop boring everybody with our chatter and I guess just get into a little bit of why we're telling this now and kind of what we're going to talk about next couple episodes. And yeah, for me specifically, I think we talked about it a little bit, but community, having people that moms especially that parent kids with special needs. Like I don't have that right now at all. Like I feel kind of isolated and alone. I don't think I told you this, but there's a podcast called the Special Needs Mom podcast. And I actually reached out to her. She responded to me. It's a pretty popular podcast. Just in a like moment of desperation, I had no one else to ask a question I asked. And there's a like a community that goes along with that podcast. And so I'm hoping that maybe I could find that here. I know that I can help encourage other spinal leakers that are out there. And in that community, there's another in our group on Facebook. I think there's been 2 since the girl I knew, and spinal leakers desperately need hope. So I feel like in that way I can help people. Workplace trauma and just being treated differently because of disability or treated horribly because of disability or losing a job because of disability. That happens, as we found out.
Mm-hmm.
And then your stroke. I mean, you might find other guys out there that are young dads that have had them and have your own community, right?
Yeah.
And then as far as Mila, like, I mean, look, if you guys have a child that was resuscitated for that long and is mostly healthy now, by all means reach out. But I feel like it's probably few and far between. But there's plenty that have been resuscitated for a length of time. And every birth looks different, but that's still, a story that can help people. A story that could give some moms hope that might be like sitting here 3 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever, and their child, was born in that way. And then epilepsy. I mean, I know epilepsy is a huge community, but I think being able to share the stories of what happened, get into some of the stuff with the doctors in the hospital, the experiences that we had there, empowering other moms, and so just helping people. I feel like I said before, this story that we have is so unique. Having one medical crisis, most families can expect that, right? Having 4 under 5 years is just ridiculous, I guess is the only word that comes to mind. Like, just ridiculous. And that doesn't even count the job loss and like just financial struggles that go with that and still are dealing with. So like, why not tell it? You know?
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
That's about the same. I mean, there's a lot of struggle there that may, be able to be used for good. Somebody else later on, whenever it may be. One of these events is probably enough for some people, but having that many constantly back to back to back to back and still...
There's got to be like a purpose to it,
mm-hmm.
right? Maybe that purpose is sharing it.
Yeah, could be.
Maybe it's this podcast. Maybe it's a combination of all of that.
Yep. Honestly, finding a community about some of those things that we can talk to too. It'd be good to know some people that have gone through something similar. Not, doesn't have to be necessarily every single thing, but I would be curious to know some of them, what they went through is with some of those things too. And honestly, the perspective of each,
mm-hmm.
perspective of the wife and husband and how you dealt with them.
I mean, I didn't even think about that, but finding other wives mm-hmm. that have husbands that have had stroke, that are young, that have kids. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is by far the loneliest I've ever felt in my life. So, I guess we'll just talk very briefly the next couple of episodes. So episode 2 will dive into the nitty gritty details of what happened with our daughter when she was born. The C-section, the resuscitation, the NICU stay, all of that. We'll talk about that. And then episode after that, we'll get into your stroke. We'll tell the stories of that and give you guys all the details that you want there. And then we'll get into the spinal leak in episode, what would that be, 4?
Something like that.
And we'll talk through everything that happened there. We'll touch on the job situation and how it affected everything. And then episode 5 we'll tell Mila's first seizure story and get into what happened. And so thank you guys for hanging out, listening to us babble. Hope you guys will come hang out for the next episode and follow us on social medias. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't remember what they are right now. Okay. I'm pretty sure that I know our domain is Resurface podcast.com, and there's absolutely nothing there right now. But if you're listening to this, years in the future, ideally there will be.
Yep.
We'll put all those socials down below if you're watching on YouTube, or I guess if they're on Apple, they'll just have to come back for episode 2 when I actually know it. Follow. Are we supposed to say like and subscribe?
You can.
Like this video,
sure.
Apparently, because the algorithm on YouTube will push it forward. And subscribe, follow us, share it. If you think it's going to help somebody, share it with them. And stay tuned.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.